I have about to finish the game. But I'm just gonna play it for you guys. December chapter 1.
I know. And I'm putting them in a different place because you keep on getting killed. And make sure we don't escape.
Wait, I forgot. I'm not copying. I completely forgot how to finish these games. It's because it's been.
What are you doing?
God knows how long it was since I last played. Skip it. Okay, no, it's fine.
The dog went to bite the cling film.
Yeah.
You know, because he was trying to get it off his head, and he went, "Hey, don't bite it."
Oh gosh, they're very loud, very, very loud.
You know, Lee and Emma.
Yeah.
Like Emma's got coffee.
Turn it down.
Because we need villagers.
Because I saw a post she put on.
Oh, wait, but I say wandering trader, you can kill him if you want.
So how she'd made whatever, you know, for tea. And it's a shame that, you know, I can't even taste it, that's the worst part.
Yes.
How do you turn it down?
Comments, oh, we'll get over it soon. Yeah, it's not like you've got it.
Hold on.
That's
my
No good, is it?
too loud.
Hey,
No good at all. Matt Hancock's supposed to be doing a thing at Fairport.
Yeah.
About tightening restrictions even more.
Whoa.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What time?
5 o'clock.
Get one of these horses.
No, it's just stuff like that.
You can just mount them and probably put them in the back or some money in the slot.
I don't understand why does it go all the way up there?
Go on.
It's fine, don't worry, we can just put them back in. It's fine, we can just put them back in. It's not in the wall.
Well, that went down like a sack of potatoes. Speaking of potatoes, how's Jess and Joel going on?
There doesn't seem to be a quick way to get to the plastic channel either.
No. What channel is it?
I think it's 255
Don't worry about it.
or 233.
You're gonna make these curtains.
And the 2's not working, won't let me press the bloody 2.
I don't know why. That's weird. Maybe it wants a retune. Do that after.
So it's very, very loud. So oh God! You have to calm down.
Christmas loosening of restrictions reflected in those hospital numbers.
It's fine.
So in short,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
as the Chief Medical Officer and the Secretary of State has said, this is an extremely
Woo!
serious
You
issue
can't
for the
set up a
country.
trap.
As good news as the vaccine is, it cannot be seen by any of us
They're both in
as a
it.
free pass to ignore
This
the
big
national
jumps out.
limits. So as we mark another important milestone in the rollout of the vaccination programme, today we have to keep our focus and our resilience as a country. I know from talking to my colleagues throughout the front line of the NHS that in their response to the coronavirus, they are incredibly grateful for the outpouring of support and praise that they have received during the last year. But I know too that the best way to thank those magnificent hard-working staff for their efforts, and most importantly, the best way to save lives, is to continue to follow the guidance.
We don't need these two.
We'll now go to the
Say, okay.
the public. And the first question by video is Beverly from Laurel.
Okay, always
It's a little
tell
bit
put it in the
Young
chat
children
or
are
put
going
it
to
down
have to learn online.
Hey,
Poorly families that cannot afford laptops or computers are going to be supported.
Yes, this is an incredibly important question, and my colleague Gavin Williamson, the Education Secretary, is sending out over 500,000 laptops and making sure, as much as is possible, that those laptops get to the people who need them, who won't be able to afford a laptop so that a child can engage in online learning. We all know that the restrictions around pupils going to school, the closure of many schools, except of course to children of key workers who need the children to be in school so that they can get to work. We know that that is a really difficult thing to have done, and I think that this provision of laptops will help to make sure that everybody can get the education that they need as much as is possible. And of course, we'll get the schools open again as soon as it's safe to do so.
What were your most valuable?
Thanks, Beverly. Next question's from Elaine in Glasgow.
At what point during the UK's vaccination drive will the government determine that enough vulnerable people have been vaccinated and allow lockdown restrictions to start being eased and then finally lifted?
This is an absolutely key question, Elaine. It's the central question that that so many people ask. And I'll explain how we're going to go about answering that, because obviously we can't, as of today, give an answer in terms of dates.
Okay, I've got some.
We can see, and you can see the plan that we published, that 88%
if you can come to pizza, if you can come to box, the box must come to you.
Over the age of 70 or clinically or health and social care workers, so the top 4 groups. That's why we're going so hard to ensure that
Very
they
hard.
all have the offer.
So sorry for your ears right now.
Possible, take up that offer by the 15th of February. Then I very much hope we will see the number of deaths from this disease coming down. But those who are in their 60s, so those who are younger than those top 4 cohorts, are also, although they also can die from the COVID, of course, they also are a significant proportion of those in hospital and the pressure on hospitals.
I've been playing it.
So we've got to make sure that we get them vaccinated as fast as possible too, and we will monitor very closely the impact of the vaccination programme on hospitalisations and on the pressure on hospitals right across the UK. Now, the lifting of restrictions will, of course, be a decision for each of the devolved administrations and for the UK government here in England, and so it will be a decision for the Scottish government in...
No! How can you reach that
high? All of the time, trying to know when we'll be able to say more, and we'll set out more in detail.
Okay, I'll just go to
now, which essentially is the summary of how much we know. There's one fact that we don't know yet either that is critical, and then I'll ask Steve to describe the risk.
So what island do you want?
No, one fact we don't know, which is we know that the vaccine reduces your chances of getting COVID and then of being hospitalised or dying from COVID, and we know that it gives you that protection. What we don't yet know, but we're following very closely, and there's detail set out in the plan today, is how much you might transmit COVID, even if you don't suffer from the disease after you've had the vaccine. We hope that very much hope it has a significant downward impact on that transmissibility after you've been vaccinated, and it's something that we are monitoring, and in fact we're testing people for after they have had the vaccine. This is called the pharmacovigilance strategy, and there's a full paper on that that's being published alongside the vaccine deployment plan today. And Steve, I don't know if you've got anything to add.
Yes, thank you, Elaine. And as the Secretary of State has said, we are prioritising the vaccination of those people in those first high priority cohorts, because those are the people who are at greatest risk of dying, unfortunately, but they're also the groups who are most at risk of having to be hospitalised. And so it is the case that as the vaccination programme builds momentum and rolls out to more of those groups, we will inevitably begin to see a reduction in hospitalisation. But we're not going to see that now. We're not going to see it next. We're not going to see it next week or the week after. It won't be until we get to February that we will start to see the early signs of that. So the vaccination programme gives hope, but to battle the virus today, we have to comply with the guidelines that are in place. It's about compliance that will get us through the next few weeks in January and then into February. And then we can start to see the benefits of the vaccine programme and hospitalisations and the reduction of deaths.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you for your question, which is the central question that we all need to, I think, keep discussing and keep watching the data to see the impact of this vaccine on the number of deaths and the number of people in hospital. Thank you. The next question is from Fergus Walsh at the BBC. Fergus.
Thank you. You've got 5 weeks to reach a further 12.5 million people with their first dose of COVID vaccine. Is that doable?
Yes, we're on track to meet that target. It's an ambitious, stretching but achievable target, and I'm confident that we're going to do it. And the reason I can be confident is that since Thursday, when we rolled out the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine through primary care, which is the biggest part of the rollout plan, we've seen the rate of vaccination increase to 210,000 a day on average. So that's over the last 4 days, not including today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, including the weekend. And the rollout will increase further because of the mass vaccination sites that we've opened today. So we've got a continued increase in the rate of vaccination. This is happening right across all 4 nations of the UK, and it means that we are on track to meet that target. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to get there. Confident?
Yes, I'm confident. Fergus, you, like the Secretary of State and I, were down in Epsom this morning. I know you saw the vaccination centre down there. I know that you were impressed by the organisation because you have written how impressed you were. And so I think we all have confidence that the NHS can stand up to this challenge and can deliver it. Of course, we stood up the hospital hubs in December with the Pfizer vaccine. We then had the GP hubs rolling out during December. A big boost with the AstraZeneca coming on stream last week, and again, you and I were in Oxford to see that happen. Yeah. This gives another boost, another gear change, and of course community pharmacies coming on stream later this week is another gear change again. So for all those reasons, as I've said many times, we get the supply delivered to us, the NHS will get that supply of vaccine jabbed into people's arms as quickly as we possibly can. It's in all our interests, for the reasons I've given, to speed through those high priority bills.
Thanks very much, Fergus. Emily Morgan, ITV.
Thanks, Secretary of State. You say you don't rule out tightening the restrictions, but judging by the behaviour of people over the weekend, isn't now the time to act to make the rules stricter?
Well, the most important thing about the rules is that people need to follow them. And that is absolutely critical, and you can see from the state of the NHS why that's so important. So stronger enforcement is necessary, and I'm delighted that the police are stepping up their enforcement. But it isn't just about the government and the rules we set, or the police and the work that they do. It's about how everybody behaves. I applaud the action Morrison's has taken today in the supermarket. They've said that they will not let people in without a mask unless they clearly have a medical reason. That's the right approach, and I want to see all parts of society playing their part. So yes,
Oliver. Sorry.
But the thing that really matters right here, right now, is that everybody follows the rules as they are today, and everybody can play their part in doing that. Laura Bundock from Sky.
Secretary of State, earlier today the Prime Minister warned about complacency at this dangerous moment in the pandemic, and yet nearly 3 weeks ago he was allowing people to socialise indoors over Christmas. Was that complacence, and are we paying the price for that now?
Well, we're seeing that the new variant of the virus is...
I'm just gonna go that way,
highly contagious.
and you're gonna go over
And the fact that
there.
it spreads so easily from one person to the other means that we have this incredibly difficult few weeks ahead of us. Whilst we get the vaccination plan rolled out, as we were just discussing, and it's imperative that everybody not just follows the rules, not just sees the rules as a limit that should be stretched, but rather behaves as if they have the virus and limits the amount of social contact that everybody has. And I know that's difficult. Honestly, I really do. But it's so important for everybody. And so don't flex the rules. I've said before that a flex to the rules can be fatal. And what I mean by that is if people push the boundaries of these rules or don't take them seriously, then that can lead to more infections and that can lead to more deaths. And the vast majority of people are following the rules, but it's very, very important that everybody does. Steve?
Yes, and I think one thing that it's really easy sometimes to forget is that as the NHS gets under more pressure from increasing numbers of patients with COVID, it's not just those COVID patients where services come under pressure, it's patients who don't have COVID as well become affected, because the ability of the NHS to provide its full range of services becomes more and more difficult. So when the public and all of us comply with these measures and really pay attention to the detail of complying with them, then we're not just helping our NHS staff treat COVID patients, but we're helping our NHS staff ensure that they can treat patients with strokes, who have heart attacks, who are in traffic accidents. So it's really critical at this really serious moment that we all pull together to ensure not only reduce deaths from COVID, but that we ensure that the NHS is to do what it's always done for all of us, which is to treat us and keep us safe at our time of need.
I just want to come back to the core of the question that you asked. You know, this new variant makes this so much harder, but it doesn't just make it so hard for us at the moment, it makes it harder for everyone, because it means that everyone has to restrict the things that they love more than would have been previously necessary under the old variant, and that is tough on us all. But thankfully, we've got this way out with the vaccine. So let's not blow it now. Thank you. Next question is Kate Ferguson.
Sorry. Hello, Mr. Hancock. Can you clear up the rules for us, please? Am I allowed to go for a walk in the park with a friend and get a takeaway cup of coffee? Yes or no? And if yes, why are police finding you for doing that? Related to that, would you like to go ahead and exercise 7 miles away from your home? And a question for Professor Paris, if possible, please. Professor Paris, are vaccination sessions open long enough in the day? Do we need to turn into a 24/7 vaccination model? The PM spokesman earlier today said there wasn't a clamour for that, but do you agree with them? And also, do you have any words for the Sons Jacks Army campaign, which is getting people to volunteer to help roll out a vaccine?
Thanks very much. I'll take the first few parts and then pass on to Professor Powers. Yes, you can go and exercise in the park with one other person, but only one other person, and we've been seeing large groups, and that is not acceptable. And you should be 2 meters apart from the other person. And you know, this is one of those rules where if too many people keep breaking this rule, then we are going to have to look at it. But I don't want to do that, because for many people, being able to go for a walk with a friend, that, especially if they live on their own, that often is their only social contact. So we don't want to have to change that rule. And it's very important that people don't, as I say, flex and try to push the boundaries of it. It is okay to go for a walk with one other person around a park, but you should stay 2 meters apart from that other person. And likewise, it is okay to go, if you went for a long walk and ended up 7 miles away from home, that is okay, but you should stay local. You know, you should not go from one side of the country to another, taking the virus with you, because remember, 1 in 3 people who have the virus don't know they have it because they have no symptoms and yet still pass it on. So it is okay to go for a long
7 miles,
or exercise.
You're not going anywhere.
Local.
Right, Daniel.
And please get out.
Windhurst Cross.
Take exercise.
Chicken nuggets, cheese chips.
It's good for your physical and mental health. But don't say that you're exercising when really you're just socialising. Go and do exercise with somebody else, because that's what the rule is there for, and it's there to support.
I think what he's trying to say is
to tighten that further.
I'm
just going to say one thing about 24/7, which is that we'll do this if it's needed. Absolutely, we'll do whatever it takes to get this vaccine.
People walk 7 miles. How many people think is that they really walking 7 miles? You're going for a walk round your area, a mile, maybe in your local area, a bit of walk, not 7 miles down the road.
But there are groups, for instance, where it might be the best approach, and our attitude on the vaccine rollout is whatever it takes to do this as fast and safely possible.
Well, put that disc in the box.
Yes, I'm sure for the vast majority of people, they would prefer to have their vaccine during the day, and of course, for the most efficient and the best use of our staff and volunteers working through the day is the most efficient way of delivering the most vaccines. So the strategy for this is, as we've said, to open as many centres in as many different settings as we can, So that includes hospital hubs, it includes GP centres, it includes these large-scale vaccination centres such as Epsom Racecourse that we've opened today, and it will include shortly community pharmacists. So I think that will give the vast majority of people a range of choice as to where they can most conveniently and most closely get their vaccination. And frankly, that is the best way to maximise it.
No!
I just lost the audio on the second part of the question, which I think was about volunteering.
That? Dead right on.
Can you just repeat it?
I just think if you had any words for the start of this Jabs Army campaign, the campaign to get British volunteers to help roll out the vaccine. We've had over 22,000 signed up so far.
Well, we're extremely grateful for the work everybody's doing, including the Sun, in getting volunteers enthused to come and join us. We've had around 80,000 people coming forward, and there are still more wanting to come. So the more that we can get enthused with us in delivering the largest vaccination programme that the NHS has ever delivered, the better. So a huge thanks.
1LP.
Thanks, Kate. Come and be a part of it. The Sun's Jabs Army is marching and helping the nation. Great stuff. Next question is from Dan Bloom at the Mirror.
Good evening, Mr. Hancock. Can you guarantee to people that the support and childcare bodies will not be removed in any tightening up of lockdown? I understand you're in the habit of not ruling things out, but many people have come to rely on this specifically, and they're waiting quite anxiously to see if there will be a So, Professor Powis, sorry, have you had any reports of anyone catching coronavirus on the way to or from a vaccination appointment or while waiting for it? And given we've seen people queuing outdoors and we've got these 50 mass centres opening early at night, can you explain and reassure people what measures you have in place to make sure that's not a risk?
So I can rule out removing the bubbles that we have in place. The childcare bubbles, the support bubbles are very important, and we're going to keep them. I know how important they are to people, and they're an important part of the system that we've got to support people, whilst also having these tough measures that are necessary. The bubbles are there for individual specific people. So for instance, if you bubbled with somebody, that is the person you bubbled with. You can't keep moving bubbles. It's very important. So they're essentially, it becomes somebody in your bubble, essentially becomes effectively part of your household. So it is important people stick to the same bubble, but the bubbles policy will stay. And I'm really glad that you asked that question, because I know there's been some media discussion of it, and I wanted to be absolutely
about that.
And I'll ask Steve to
Yes, all centres that we have set up to vaccinate.
Could you have had a warning, please?
Vaccination centres, GP, late hubs, all hospital hubs have all put in place the appropriate infection prevention and control to ensure that they minimise the risk of any spread, and also putting in place the appropriate social distancing so that people are staying apart.
I'm going to call him Mom.
Transmission is as low as possible. And certainly down in Epsom this morning, I talked to them about ensuring that people weren't going to be queuing in the cold, and they had their systems in place to ensure that wouldn't happen, and socially distance areas that they could use if they needed to.
Screen card, yeah? Or try using exact screen.
Or people contracting virus on the way to the centre?
No, I think if you are coming to a centre, take all the social distancing precautions that you would take if you were travelling outside anyway. So I think if people act sensibly, as I'm sure they will, those centres are set up to protect people, to ensure that the risk of any transmission is minimised. So come and have the vaccine. That is the way that you will protect yourself and others from this terrible virus.
Thanks very much, Dan. Final questions from Jerry Scott, the Yorkshire Post. Hi, Jerry.
Thank you, Secretary. The Yorkshire Post and its sister titles say that calls from more community pharmacists to get them on board to deliver the vaccine locally, and with the images we've just heard about of elderly people queuing outside vaccination, are you looking to speed up bringing more community pharmacists on board than the 200 already announced, so that everyone has a vaccination centre within, say, 10 minutes rather than 10 miles, or that vaccination supply issue we were talking about earlier causing a barrier to bring those online as quickly?
Well, absolutely, we're looking to what more can we say. The first thing
you wanted it turned on.
What was that?
Yes, mine. Keep it down. Keep it down. Okay. Take the same thing. Okay, I'm right here.
So close to the community, often it's the bit of the NHS.
You had it. I'm here.
I love the vids. Where's Mark? Where's he, Mark? Where's Mark?
That means that especially
I think Mark
had iron sauce.
It's not really an invitation, mate.
I do this.
Normally.
I'll have some still. You're gonna. I think I might. Okay, your response plan and have
I think that community pharmacy will have a particularly important role in that stage.
Right.
So
don't go up too.
They're important partners in this.
Ready.
I'm getting some more pickaxes.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you all for your questions. That concludes today's coronavirus.
That was clear. What? That was easy.
There we are, that's the Health Secretary with some pretty grim numbers for the country. 46,000, more than 46,000 positive cases in the UK. More than 32,000 people are in hospital with COVID. 22% he said in just a week. He said we're at the worst point.
What is this, baby?
And they do not rule out further if needed.
Yeah, that was quite my fun. I found. Is it little? Okay, yeah, that was quite smart. Right, come on, go, man.
2/5 of those
Sorry, guys.
have had the first dose. A quarter of older care home residents have had the first dose. Stephen Powers.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Hospitals under significant.
Excuse me.
Okay, the mic shop.
Excuse me.
Up here.
Excuse me.
So you can go down and go.
Restrictions. Let's speak to our chief political correspondent.
How would you say down?
Craig. A lot on vaccines, a lot also on restrictions. What is, what isn't allowed. What did you make of what you heard?
No, don't bother. You're putting things in the chat. Yeah. So I'm going.
The rules are going to get tougher, as you said, Mark. Professor Powers said the vaccine cannot be seen by anyone as if it was a free pass. Two key answers towards the end there of the questions. Right towards the end there, the question from the Daily Mirror about bubbles, support bubbles. I can rule out removing the bubble. He sees it as an important part. So we learned earlier today that he said that to Tory MPs. Now he said it at the Downing Street press conference. Wrong way. There was a nice cryptic question from the new Deputy Political Editor of The Sun, Kate Ferguson, about going for a walk or a cycle ride 7 miles from home. Why?
Okay, this way. But just follow the torches this way now. Just keep on following the torches.
Well, that's okay.
Okay, so kind of look this way.
You can go for a long walk, and if you end up 7 miles from home,
and then we'll follow
this
bridge,
warning,
and then
the rules.
Here, jump into the water, nowhere else. If you die,
going into the light.
Insists that this target.
Okay, I'll work it up down now.
It's the top 4 tiers.
Couldn't I have just gone through his base?
Top 4 categories.
Okay, wrong way.
What is this?
That will be next.
Yes, that was the first
Neighbour?
question,
I
actually.
mean, Matt.
Is it doable?
What does this mark?
He said. And Professor Powers then said it's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it.
Oh, hell no!
So that was the answer to that question.
Another interesting point to make.
Yeah, it wasn't going to go through his grandmother.
Oh, gosh, that's...
Yes, and the other unknown report from that news conference was Professor Powers saying it's too early to say the impact of the Christmas. So still some unknowns. Clearly, it looks as though we are still waiting for some evidence of what's happened over the summer.
Staying here, guys. I'm just staying here. Hi, from Mom. So much. Go to this room.
Professor Chris Whitty earlier in the day, but yes, they are confident, they say, that they can meet that target that the Prime Minister was talking about earlier on in the day. I think it's 15 million jabs by the 15th of February.
Father, he's down in his office.
Mr. Hancock,
I'll take it.
Doses still 3 million people.
Thank you.
I'm still minded.
Now, you may remember that last Monday here on we spoke to the former Speaker of the House of Commons, Betty Woodford.
You can smell it in the
He's coming.
Maybe not.
He's coming. He's coming. He's here.
Being pushed back to March. Betty went down to
please stop it.
looking for an explanation.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're still, okay, we definitely have friends in there. Okay, this is what we should get. Oh, you know what we could have done? We could have blown the TNT.
Now, I want to say good effort, Betty, trying to get the second one after the 3 weeks. But government scientists are still insisting that they want to save lives and by delivering the first vaccine to as many people in as short a time as possible. That is what they'll do.
These are the only people who want to save lives.
In the house, how we can lick it down?
If it would help to spread it thin, there's an according to that's fine, we go along with it.
One more pick.
Don't blame me for you. I mean,
And I openly can, and that's a number of campaigns, medical professionals, very senior people. If they knew what
did you just get shot?
after the refusal of the same vaccine, they didn't know. So I said to myself, I better go and find out because
What was that?
I can pay it where you like. So when
Right, turn the music off.
I heard some about close your mic and working with it.
That wasn't music, that was just me whistling.
So I went to Admiral. They were very courteous and gracious. Doctor came out to talk to me. I said, now what is the protection? After now 21 days not.
Wrong word, it's not what you say. It's...
protection.
What the f*** is enemy little?
I said 90 days it's supposed to go back. Oh, I said it's 90 days. So I said, now look here. Pfizer said it was 21 days. You had to have your protection full stop. Why has it come to 90 now? He said, no, it gave me a joint committee on vaccine and immunization. I've made a statement about it. He said, good. That's done. You let me have the statement I have things in writing. I just, I do what you say, doctor, is better than in writing. When I got to I had a document from them. It is 90 days for protection, but it's 90 days for the short term. We've got to have it again after 21 days because of Brexit.
By the way, if you're wondering how much this game is, it's $29.99 in game, but you can't get. Don't know if you can get it like from game at the moment.
Will fall before the second date. That's what you're effectively.
But because like it's not essential.
That's what I'm trying to find some guidance now, right? Yeah. Right.
No, I'm just gonna get out. Get it.
I'm on my last
Did you hear that?
Big foul needs.
And I'd like them to say, are we guinea pigs? Are they experimenting with it? No, you can't do that. This is a national problem. We're all in this together. We want to help each other out. And that's all I'm just trying to do. Just ease the burden for these elderly people who are very concerned.
But the scientists say they're not concerned based on the effectiveness of other vaccines over that length of time.
I don't know about other vaccines. I mean, I've been watching the first Pfizer vaccine. That's the one, the vaccine I have something interesting and I noticed about that study. And that's why I've taken the action that I have taken. It's what other people speak of. I think some of the,
I want to know where the hell is the neighbour. Oh, there he is. There's Matt. There he is. There's Matt.
Well, I think when it comes to speaking up, you're doing a pretty good job. I mean,
if he wasn't stuck in a wall, like FGTV, stuck in a wall, Matt. He got out of his own shop.
Is at its height, and they want to vaccinate as many people as possible.
Don't build walls like we used to.
I do it, and my heart goes out to these people, the government, the people who are handling this, the civil servants, the scientists. They must be mistaken. I don't know any reason when
But if you don't know who FGTV is, which you probably would, no? Easy, like, go to YouTube, I like watching messages, so I watch it again. And it brings back the nostalgia. I like him.
Different emphasis on various things, and I put more restrictions on things. Even in watching all the time, they tell me that this is what they
There he is.
Yeah, but this longer gap.
Calm down.
This longer gap. I mean, it was your friend's idea. It was Tony Blair's idea originally.
Well, listen, Tony Blair is a politician of the country.
I'll have it out.
Tony's a politician. This is my favorite politician. He's not a scientist. I don't think much attention to that. I listen to the scientists, medical people. I want to know what they say.
I mean, Pfizer do say it's 89% effective against COVID for 15 to 20.
That door almost betrays me.
Only some still my tongue because it's just my mistake.
That's right. But it's only after the first shot.
You'll just need 2 diamonds and then make a diamond pickaxe. Then
1, 2, 3. Patricia!
yeah.
Nah, please continue. Go away.
Of getting this reversed, you're obviously still
Thank you.
I've been good with this whole little thing. And you've got simple looking. I've got 2 pickaxes as well.
The Queen is going to wait for her second game, but I see that was never. That's the opposite.
You need how many feet?
Phew.
And this is what we have. And this is what I concentrate on. I can't come.
I don't know.
Alright, well, Betty, let's talk to you again. Keep that on the way.
I will do.
So let's go in there.
Alright, very good to talk to you. Betty Boo's rolling up there.
You can stop in mind, right?
This is
I'm going to keep in mind to these kinds of
we are at the worst point in the pandemic, and we can't rule out tighter restrictions.
Yeah, but I'll tell this story. Like a couple of days whilst we was whilst I was playing and these were doing something else, I found loads of stuff. Yeah. I found like loads of it was just me. I found like loads of like what's it called? Yeah, like loads of like temples and villages and like good stuff. I've got like loads of items. You can just it's fine, don't worry. I've got loads of it. I'm trying to fix it. Okay. I think there's one of the checks.
£212 of the brilliant Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Now for only £46 per month, plus £9 off.
I have a live stream now. I need to learn to talk to this anyway.
Phone big winter sale. Go online today.
I mean, when house.
It's not that how she said, look at IoT or often. And that you split deposits between interest accounts and a budget investment fund.
He's probably going to do this thing. I'm going to take a crap.
But the results could add up to over time. Something help you fix it and check if there's a better deal than the household bills. To save money, switch your providers and invest in what matters to you. Download Plug. The smartest helps your money do right.
So, how are you all taking school? She says.
I don't like treat animals anymore.
Children love my meat, but not as much as I love my little girl. That's why we made some changes to our old regular sausage casserole. Now it's plant-based and perfect for pre-January too. There's a sensitivity.
No, you're doing it with them. I want to get up here.
If I can make this.
Sometimes it's hard to explain. They say you have to be there. That's the kids' comprehensive car insurance. We are. Here for your emergency claims 24/7, 365 days a year.
Oh gosh, he saw me. Get in it! Oh gosh.
We protect each other.
I'm gonna here.
Oh yeah. You got wood for me, right? Okay, can you give me that? I'll make this some shields. Can you, how much do you have? Right. You can make a small portion of it. I confident.
This is the hour 6 on Mark Austin coming up in the next 60 minutes. The worst point in the pandemic, the Health Secretary says follow the rules or face further restrictions.
Don't rule out taking further action if it's needed. But it's your actions now that can make a difference. Stay
I just need 12. That's all I need.
As 7 mass vaccination centres get up and running across England with capacity to jab 4 people every minute.
I'm your swabs.
It'll get worse before it gets better. The Chancellor warns the third lockdown will have a significant economic impact. And Democrats charge President Trump with inciting an insurrection as part of their impeachment attempt. Former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer joins me live this hour. Good evening. The Health Secretary struck a somber tone as he delivered the government's COVID briefing from Downing Street. His message, we're at the worst point in the pandemic, is warning we will not rule out tighter restrictions if current rules are not followed. It comes on the day the government rolled out its mass vaccination programme. Matt Hancock reiterated the government is on track to achieve its pledge of inoculating the top 4 priority groups by the middle of February. But NHS England's National Director, Professor Stephen Powers, warned the jab is not a free pass.
Whoa!
This is what the Health Secretary. As the Chief Medical Officer said earlier today, we're at the worst point in this pandemic. NHS, more than ever before, needs everybody to be doing something right now. And that something is to follow the rules. And now I know there's been speculation about more restrictions, and we don't rule out taking further action if it's needed. But it's your actions now that can make a difference. Stay at home, and please reduce all social contact that is not absolutely strictly necessary. That's what's needed. Act like you have the virus.
Deputy Political Editor Sam Coates joins me now. Good evening, Sam. So,
you can't catch me.
About the spread of COVID, the pressure on the NHS.
Yes, and I think that today was probably part of the...
You can't catch me, mate. You can't jump that high. You're an AI. You don't know how to jump that high.
Is about the enormous pressure being placed on the NHS. The speed of the vaccine rollout.
Do you have brains? Do you have a brain that physically works? Oh gosh, he knows.
Okay, it's in this hole.
website, but it looks today like they just wanted to focus on the number of people in hospital, over 32,000. We want to hammer home this message that really we are at a point as a nation under massive strain once more because of coronavirus. And it feels like Ministers leaving, the Prime Minister will stop at nothing to re-emphasise that.
Get in, get in!
That there were constricting the amount of ventilators that the NHS has access to at the moment. Previously, you might have expected the Prime Minister to boast that capacity, but not now. I think ministers very keen to double down on the extent to which the NHS is under pressure because of what they actually become.
Did he just kick down the door?
Questions at the briefing about restrictions or about what you can do, what you can't. Do you think new restrictions are likely now?
No,
yeah.
It won't be done.
To announce them. Instead, what they're doing is that they are trying to get people to comply with ever more
just local bits
about the impact on the NHS.
But it's like place it on that.
That there will never be an end to let's see what he had to say about this.
Yes, you can go and exercise in the park with one other person, but only one other person with the same large group.
I didn't make any charges. Can you come down and bring me some
breaking this rule, then we are going to have to...
Can you bring me down like 3 pieces of coal and like 3 steps?
Please get out there and have take exercise because it's good for you. It's good for your physical and mental health. But don't say that you're exercising when really you're just socialising.
So Matt Hancock making clear that the onus currently is the government wanting individuals and companies, like Morrison's tougher enforcement in supermarkets, want those groups to take tougher action rather than leaving it to the government to do more, because frankly at this point if you tighten restrictions anymore that probably will have quite an effect on people's mental health. Boris Johnson personally reluctantly go much more downstream, felt that they'd tighten the screw. One person told me as far as it can go. But nevertheless, because the number of people moving around we can see is much greater than last March, partly because it is a booster lockdown. There is a concern that there are still too many opportunities for coronavirus to transmit. But when we haven't yet seen all of the Christmas mixing, which was completely illegal under the rules in England allowed by the Prime Minister in areas that weren't in Tier 4, we've still got some distance to go before that works its way through. So I don't think ministers are going to move yet in terms of making any decisions on further clampdowns.
Okay, Sam, thank you very much indeed. Let's talk a little bit more about vaccines now. 7 new centres
Is this stuff?
Today with capacity to offer 4 injections. To offer injections rather to 4 people a minute. The first 7 to open are in Newcastle, Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, Stevenage, Surrey, and at London's Excel Centre, where the Nightingale Hospital is based.
Diamond, I found it.
The UK's vaccination strategy. The government has pledged to vaccinate 40 million people by the end of February, meaning those in the top 4 priority groups should receive their jabs in just over a month. This includes care home residents and their carers, frontline and healthcare workers, people aged 70 and above, and those classed as clinically extremely vulnerable.
Just 4.
The new vaccination centres, hospitals, GPs and pharmacies will offer the jab. So far, 2.4 million vaccinations
actually working.
Yesterday, the Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that all adults will have been offered the jab by the autumn. Midlands correspondent Becky Johnson has the latest now from Birmingham.
At this mass vaccination centre here in Birmingham, the first jabs were given just after midday, and they're hoping to do around 6 on midday.
Whoa!
Right, we can go to 11 now.
Oh, golly, oh gosh. Is it alright?
I did speak to one lady who came, she was one of the first to get her jab here earlier
to run. I've got nowhere to hide.
My father's now. My father's out.
Judging me if it helps. I am nowhere to hide. What is it doing in my imagination? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just making things up as I go along. And let the right one go. How do you want to get there? I'll find a way to get into it. I think I need to look up away. Think that's the way to go. I've got nowhere to hide. Oh no, I'm going fast. Yeah, he's coming up. I'm going down. There's nowhere for me to run. Nowhere. Then what? Creeper. Oh man. So we back in the mine, swinging our big axe from side to side.
What I've destroyed, I want to to work. And again, I've got a shield.
Move that. Move that. Pick this up. Oh.
Oh my god. Please don't be. There's so many monsters. I'm just gonna get up.
Get in.
So it's absolutely vital that we get the vaccine program up and running, vaccinating as soon as possible, and weeks to try and release some pressure on patients making it front door, because our priority is obviously to manage the patients we already have in, but it's to try and ensure that people that are still out there at the moment and not getting sick because they want to get vaccinated. You know, if they can be vaccinated, then they should be vaccinated. And it's important as well that obviously people are following the rules because that's a massive part of
He's coming. Get it. Let me in.
Guess what? The boy outside. Yeah. Coming back with the goods. I want to show you.
Oh yeah, baby, I'm beautiful. What would I do? No. It's like a bomb.
I'm also showing the doctor things.
And bring us up to date with today's things. Yes, so in the past 24 hours,
Hello, neighbor. Can I come inside? Hello, neighbor. What you got to hide? Yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks really nice. Well, you haven't looked down.
What the freak are you, Maria?
You'll love it.
That's where you are.
Here for a while. I introduce you. Jeb.
He's right next to me in there. He's next to me in there.
No, Jeb. You want to see my grab the tape, right? Ready? Bam.
Okay.
In right here.
Thank you very much. Now, we've got 2.6 million down, should be equal to 2.3 million people across the UK.
Oh, that is so well.
And we're following the progress of the government's vaccine programme here on Science. You can across the figures by going to our website, www.
Kado is going so well.
the Chancellor has warned Britain's economy will get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, with TNT. With TNT, you kept hold of it. I don't know, frankly, so much about it.
Update in the House of Commons.
You'll be rewarded with an iron sword.
In the final quarter of last year, and also forecast the largest.
How long do we have to wait in there, guys?
For over 200 years. Even with the significant economic support we've provided, over 800,000 people have lost their jobs since February.
And we can move on now.
Diamond mine. Okay, okay, Zach has promised to get your 2 diamonds. Yeah, he helps a lot as well. In fact,
is he going to bang down the door?
Sadly, the events that took place at Forge Gardens cut short Joe's right to a full and vibrant life. He will always be loved and never forgotten. Unfortunately, no amount of justice will ever bring back Joe, James, and David's lives they deserve. And never.
Yeah, he's also built this as well. So yeah. First, here's my diamond pickaxe I made. My diamond pickaxe I made.
Only play screen.
I can make it.
Way already.
During the sentencing, the court was showing CCTV footage from the day before the execution set out on scene purchasing a weapon from Helo.
Let me box this supply.
Later that day, visited by police, concerned with a mental state.
It's a box now.
Psychiatrist included
That's what I'm making it right now.
to the effects of either mental disorder or substance misuse. Now, the world's democracies are facing an ever-increasing threat of so-called invisible attacks.
Same.
Head of the armed forces. Ben Wallace and General Sonic Carter have been speaking to Scott's foreign president Deborah Haynes about raising assassination, cyber attacks, disinformation,
Look, I've got 2 shields. Really happy. And look at my lipstick as well on my character. Oh yeah, you had one. Here you go. I dropped it down. Right, okay, go to sleep, then I'll start it down with some obsidian. Iron armor. Not even. I've got 9 last, so I'll make you some boots. Oh, hold on. I can make you some leather. I mean, it's not the best, but it's better than that.
Right, can we get the dogs out, please?
Yeah.
Where's the key?
I might need to go.
Out.
Who is here?
The danger is that by the time we notice that the damage has been done, it is too late.
Right, Oliver,
Yeah.
tea.
Okay.
This is the nature of
Shift that disc.
Okay. I don't know what it's.
Put it in this right box.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's the thing.
Okay. Right, go to sleep, everyone.
There.
From assassinations and intimidations, to threatening to cut off the country's access to oil and gas, or infiltrating critical supply chains. When you start to think of all the different ways nations can
Better can go and get the obsidian right down the pit.
Now online is a new frontline. Attacks can come anywhere there's internet, no matter how remote. This investigator exposes fake news designed to undermine democracies, but often comes at the fire himself.
It can become very personal when you start getting the death threats, when you start getting the really, really personal attacks. It actually means that you've done a good job, because you have said something.
I found a lead.
You have exposed something.
Guys, we've got a lead.
Right here. Either silence you or discredit you.
He's not backing down. But the grey zone isn't going away either, and it's a threat to everyone.
And episode 1 of Into the Grey Zone podcast is available now. You can listen and subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Deborah Hayes.
Bring the table under here.
With an invisible enemy.
Oliver!
What?
Come on, eat.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hey guys. Well, come on.
Guidelines, and he would not rule out tougher restrictions if current rules are followed. Let's speak to the shadow.
Idiots have forgotten to put the cheese on your chips, Daniel.
Hello?
They've forgotten to put the cheese on your chips.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah.
The lockdown is working.
They have, Daniel.
Tighter restrictions now.
He even repeat that back to me though. Chips with cheese. He says yes.
That is what the medical
There.
But before we go down the road of fairly freedom, there's things that are still not fixed. Look, we've got 10 million key workers. Many of them.
No, your mind.
They can't work.
Up to get off.
Yeah, okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna come off the bed. No. Tomorrow, bro. Don't worry, everything's safe. Hey, there's no option to just work. Just say work. I'm not saying you've done it anywhere.
Why am I still hearing chatting when I'm about to go to tomorrow?
Tell them I'm coming up. No, but is it, when tomorrow we on we carry on. Yeah.
And I mean, is it that the rules on the points that Matt Hancock were making, is it that the rules are too lax, or is it an adherence problem? I mean, is the public not taking it as seriously as the lockdown in March?
I'm off.
Alright. I'm fed up with this. Might get a bit of nostalgia. Oh, it don't matter.
Closing playgrounds, maybe closing, limiting exercise. What of those would you support, if any?
Well, I think there is a question about why nursing is still open given that schools have not closed.
Dad?
Yes.
I just accidentally showed my face.
Pardon?
I just accidentally put the camera on, but I've turned it off now.
You shouldn't even be on now. Get it turned off.
Okay. Guys, we've been streaming for 1 hour. No, I'm just gonna be like this, guys.
Should be closed, or more employers are asking their staff to come into work, but they're less sympathetic to the work from home message and
Game?
that needs to be looked into.
Game across. Anyway, see you.